Listen closely. In 2026, the average cost of a specialized sensor replacement on a modern SUV has officially crossed the $900 mark. That is not a repair, that is a ransom note. While most buyers are hypnotized by ambient lighting and massive touchscreens, the smart money is looking at the oil pan and the transmission cooler. According to the latest 2026 reliability data from Consumer Reports and the J.D. Power Long-Term Quality Index, the gap between engineered to last and engineered to lease has never been wider. I have spent 20 years under these chassis, and today we are stripping away the marketing fluff to find the 7 SUVs that will actually leave money in your bank account when the warranty expires. The Honda CR-V. Let us start with the gold standard of boring. People ask me why the CR-V stays at the top of the charts every single year. It's because Honda engineers are obsessed with thermal management and simplicity. While other manufacturers are slapping twin turbos on tiny engines to chase horsepower figures, the CR-V hybrid uses a 2-motor system that eliminates the traditional transmission entirely. No planetary gears to grinding themselves into metal shavings, no torque converter to overheat. It's a direct drive symphony of efficiency. From a mechanic's lens, the CR-V is a dream because the layout is logical. You can actually reach the spark plugs without removing the entire intake manifold, a concept that seems to have escaped the designers at BMW. The 2026 CR-V maintains a resale value that defies logic. In the US market, a 3-year-old CR-V often retains 85% of its original MSRP. When you factor in that it barely asks for anything more than 0W20 synthetic oil and a set of filters, your cost per mile is lower than a city bus. Insurance companies love them too, because the sensing suite is integrated into a high-mounted camera rather than fragile bumper radars. A minor fender bender doesn't turn into a $5,000 calibration nightmare. It's the SUV for people who have better things to do than sit in a dealership waiting room drinking stale coffee. The RAV4. If the CR-V is a surgical tool, the Toyota RAV4 is a sledgehammer. Toyota's philosophy is simple. If it worked in 1998, keep it, refine it, and make it bulletproof for 2026. The heart of this beast is the dynamic force engine. It uses both port and direct injection. Why? Because port injection sprays fuel over the intake valves, keeping them clean of carbon buildup, a silent killer that plagues almost every other modern GDI engine on the road. Most SUVs in this class have moved to CVTs that feel like rubber bands. Toyota stuck with an 8-speed automatic in the gas models and a planetary e-CVT in the hybrids that is essentially a heavy-duty industrial generator. There are no belts to slip, there are no chains to snap, it's just metal on metal doing work. On the used market, the RAV4 is basically currency. It's as liquid as cash. If you buy a RAV4 today, run it for 5 years and 60,000 miles, you're looking at a depreciation curve that looks more like a flat line than a cliff. You're buying a decade of mechanical silence. That silence is the sound of your money staying in your pocket.
The Acura RDX. Now let us talk about the entry-level luxury trap. Usually, when you step up to a premium badge, the mechanic's labor rate doubles and the parts prices triple. The Acura RDX is the exception that proves the rule. Underneath that sharp, aggressive sheet metal is a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that shares its DNA with the legendary Civic Type R. It's a high-performance heart with a blue-collar work ethic. Unlike its German rivals, the X3s and Q5s of the world, the RDX does not use plastic cooling fans or biodegradable water pump housings. It uses high-grade alloys and an SH-AWD system that is mechanically overbuilt for the street. I've seen these differentials go 200,000 miles with nothing but a fluid change every 30,000. The value hack here is the parts commonality. Because it shares a lineage with the Honda family, you aren't paying boutique prices for brake rotors or oxygen sensors. You get the leather, the ELS sound system, and the prestige, but you pay Honda-level maintenance bills. It's the ultimate stealth wealth play. You look like you spend $60,000, but you maintain it like you spent $30,000. In the world of automotive finance, that is what we call a winning trade. The Mazda CX-5.
Let's talk about the CX-5. In a world where every manufacturer is obsessed with shrinking engines and slapping on fragile turbochargers to meet emission standards, Mazda stayed in the lab and perfected the basics. This is what I call old-school engineering with new-school precision. Under the hood of the naturally aspirated SkyActiv G 2.5L, you won't find a complicated mess of vacuum lines and intercoolers. You find a high-compression engine that is built to breathe. From the lift, the CX-5 is a masterclass in no-gimmick design. While the competition moved to CVTs, which, let's be honest, are basically rubber bands in a metal box, Mazda stuck with a traditional 6-speed automatic. It's a torque converter unit that doesn't hunt for gears and doesn't overheat when you're crawling through Los Angeles traffic in mid-July. I've seen these transmissions hit 150,000 miles without a single hiccup, provided you don't treat the fluid like it's a lifetime fill. The financial win here isn't just the lack of repairs, it's the lack of specialized labor. Any local mechanic with a basic set of scan tools can service a CX-5. You aren't beholden to a dealership charging $200 an hour because they're the only ones with the software to calibrate a proprietary electronic wastegate. It's a premium driving experience without the premium headache. The Lexus RX. If you want to know what peak reliability looks like, look at the Lexus RX. There's a reason these things are the unofficial car of every retired surgeon and smart money executive in America. While the Germans were busy inventing new ways to make plastic cooling systems fail at 60,000 miles, Lexus was busy over-engineering every single bolt on the RX. The 2026 RX Hybrid is the ultimate zero-gimmick luxury play. It uses a nickel metal hydride or lithium-ion battery setup that is so well managed by the onboard computer that we rarely see cell failure before the second decade of ownership. But here's the real mechanic's secret. The RX doesn't use air suspension. Most luxury SUVs in this class use airbags that inevitably leak, causing the compressor to burn out, a $4,000 nightmare. Lexus uses high-quality, traditional coil springs and dampers that are tuned to perfection. The value hack here is the depreciation curve. A Lexus RX is basically a four-wheeled savings account. In the US market, these vehicles have the lowest 5-year cost of ownership in the luxury segment. You pay more upfront, sure, but when you factor in that you aren't replacing a turbocharger at year 7 or chasing electrical gremlins in a complex infotainment-heavy dashboard, the RX is actually cheaper to own than a budget SUV from a less reputable brand.
The Kia Sportage. I know what the skeptics are saying. A Kia? Really? But listen to the data, not the 1990s stereotypes. The 2026 Kia Sportage, specifically the hybrid and plug-in hybrid variants, has become a disruptor in the reliability space. Why? Because Kia stopped trying to be the cheap alternative and started trying to be the logical alternative. The Sportage uses a smart stream engine architecture that features dual-port injection. Like the Toyota, this keeps the valves clean, but the real industrial-grade win here is the warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty isn't just a marketing slogan, it's a financial luster for the owner. It forces the manufacturer to build components that can actually survive that long, or else they go bankrupt paying for repairs. From a maintenance perspective, the Sportage is surprisingly straightforward. The hybrid battery is modular, meaning if a cell goes bad, you aren't necessarily replacing the whole pack. Compared to European performance SUVs that require a service position, removing the front bumper just to change a belt, the Sportage is built with accessibility in mind. You're paying for a mainstream badge, but you're getting a powertrain that is engineered to outlast the loan. The Hyundai Tucson. Rounding out our list is the Hyundai Tucson. Much like its Kia cousin, the Tucson has shed its disposable reputation. In 2026, the Tucson stands out because it offers high-end tech without the fragile German-style execution. The mechanical win on the Tucson is the H-Track all-wheel drive system. It's a simple electronic clutch-based system that doesn't require the complex high-maintenance fluids found in luxury performance brands. It's set-it-and-forget-it engineering. The deep dive value here is the standard feature set versus the repair cost. On many SUVs, advanced safety features mean expensive sensors buried in the glass or the bumpers. Hyundai has streamlined their sensor integration to make them more resilient to minor vibrations and road debris.
When you combine the low entry price with the resale value that has surged over the last 5 years, the Tucson becomes a powerhouse of fiscal responsibility. You get the 38 mpg, you get the panoramic screens, and you get a mechanical heart that doesn't skip a beat when the odometer hits 6 figures. It's not just a car, it's a hedge against inflation.
Look, the numbers don't lie, and neither does a leaking head gasket. We've cut through the lifestyle fluff to examine these machines for what they really are: intricate thermal engines governed by physics and math. In 2026, the shiny plastic cladding on a showroom floor is designed to distract you from the fact that most modern SUVs are built with a planned obsolescence timer set for exactly 1 day after the warranty expires. The 7 vehicles we discussed today, the CR-V, RAV4, RDX, CX-5, RX, Sportage, and Tucson, aren't just good cars. They are mechanical anomalies in a world of disposable tech. They represent a zero-G philosophy, where a dollar spent on high-grade metallurgy is worth $10 spent on a flashy ambient lighting system. From a master mechanic's perspective, the smart money choice is always the one that prioritizes engineering over branding. When you buy a Lexus RX or a Toyota RAV4, you aren't just buying a badge, you're buying a decade of Saturday mornings that aren't spent in a service department lounge. You're buying a resale value that acts as a financial shield when it's time to trade up. Here is the expert's bottom line. If a car part is made of plastic where it should be aluminum, or if a sensor is placed where you have to drop the entire subframe to reach it, that manufacturer does not care about your bank account. They care about their assembly line efficiency. The SUVs on this list are the ones where the engineers actually won the fight against the accountants. So here is my question for you, and I want to see the real-world data in the comments. If you had to pick one vehicle from this list to drive for the next 10 years and 150,000 miles, knowing that every repair bill comes out of your own pocket, which one are you putting in your driveway? Are you going for the bulletproof simplicity of the Mazda or the warranty shield of the Kia? Drop your choice below. Let's talk shop. And if you're tired of being treated like a walking ATM by your local dealership, hit that subscribe button. We're here to make sure your garage stays full and your wallet stays heavy. I'm out. Keep the oil clean and the revs steady.